Rachel Zegler just experienced every Hollywood actor's most dreaded nightmare, sitting awkwardly in a near-empty theater, forced to witness her blockbuster movie tanking live, right before her eyes. Picture this. You've worked your whole life to make it big, landed the leading role in Disney's highly anticipated remake of Snow White, and now you're stuck watching your dreams crumble in an embarrassingly vacant cinema. Even worse, this humiliation wasn't private. Her friends broadcasted every awkward moment on Instagram for millions to mock. The box office numbers came crashing down like a ton of bricks, sealing Rachel's fate. Disney's Snow White remake pulled in an abysmal $3.5 million in Thursday night previews, followed by a weekend total of only $43 million. A shocking figure against its astronomical budget of over $250 million, not even including the millions spent on marketing. For comparison, Disney's previous live-action remake, The Little Mermaid, earned over twice that with a stellar $95 million opening. Even the much-maligned remake of Dumbo fared better with a smaller budget, turning Rachel's Snow White into the studio's biggest embarrassment in decades. Social media quickly erupted with sarcastic memes, empty theater selfies, and even tongue-in-cheek suggestions for a Disney bailout GoFundMe. Clearly, the internet was having a field day at Rachel's expense. And speaking of embarrassment, Rachel's cringe-filled night was meticulously documented by her close friend Ilda Mason on Instagram stories, revealing the awkward reality behind the glamorous facade. Rachel and her tight-knit group of loyal supporters, Jorge Mason, Remy, and Maria Isabel de Mason, showed up to support their friend, but ended up highlighting how poorly attended the film truly was. One painfully ironic moment saw the group asking the theater employee for tickets while obviously holding Snow White-themed popcorn buckets and drinks. The employee's innocent question, "For which movie?" left Rachel speechless. It was uncomfortable, funny, and ultimately tragic. The internet, predictably, loved it. Adding insult to injury, a past clip of Rachel confidently claiming people would line up to watch her movies resurfaced, igniting even more backlash. In the viral footage, Rachel boldly compared herself to a legendary work of art, proudly asserting that audiences would flock to see her despite her flaws. Today, that confident boast seemed painfully naive, sparking immediate ridicule online. People flooded her social media profiles, mocking her earlier bravado with comments like, "Welcome back to reality, princess." Influential critics and internet personalities like Ian Miles Chong publicly roasted Rachel, labeling the Snow White remake Disney's biggest flop in decades. The bitter irony was not lost on viewers, as Rachel's public humiliation became instant meme fodder. However, Rachel's controversies weren't limited to box office embarrassment. Behind the scenes, drama between Rachel and her high-profile co-star, Gal Gadot, exploded publicly and privately. According to insiders, what began as cordial professional collaboration deteriorated rapidly due to Rachel's outspoken political views. Rachel frequently posted openly pro-Palestinian statements on social media, directly conflicting with Gal Gadot's proudly Israeli identity and former service in the Israeli military. Tensions escalated dramatically, to the point where Gadot faced targeted harassment and threats, forcing Disney to pay substantial sums for her extra security. Studio executives grew increasingly frustrated, blaming Rachel's inflammatory comments for jeopardizing their expensive investment. This behind-the-scenes turmoil reached its peak after Rachel made unexpected political statements during Disney's highly publicized D23 Expo. Execs reportedly panicked as their expensive family-friendly film suddenly became a battleground for divisive politics. Desperate attempts to silence Rachel failed spectacularly. Producer Mark Platt even flew across the country multiple times to personally beg Rachel to tone down her controversial posts, to little avail. Rachel stubbornly resisted, pushing Disney's crisis management team to their breaking point. Then came the shocking involvement of Jonah Platt, producer Mark Platt's son. Jonah, outraged by Rachel's reckless comments, publicly blasted the actress on Instagram, directly blaming her personal politics for damaging the film's reputation and box office prospects. Jonah's comments, which quickly spread across entertainment news, explicitly called out Rachel's lack of accountability and maturity, underscoring the severe rift forming behind the scenes. His blunt criticism highlighted how intensely divided the studio and crew had become over Rachel's polarizing actions. Yet Rachel's troubles didn't begin with this latest disaster. From the moment Disney announced her casting as Snow White, controversy exploded online. Critics slammed the decision to cast a Latina actress in the traditionally pale-skinned role, triggering a backlash Rachel responded to fiercely. Instead of defusing tensions, Rachel defiantly declared that she would never bleach her skin, labeling critics as obsessed losers. Her confrontational style only amplified outrage, setting the stage for continued conflict between herself, fans, and the general public. Rachel further ignited controversy by openly criticizing the beloved 1937 Disney classic itself. During a widely viewed interview, she mocked Prince Charming as a weird stalker and proudly announced that their remake had deliberately scrapped the original romance. Fans, fiercely protective of the iconic story, erupted in outrage. Rachel faced relentless online criticism, accused of disrespecting Disney's legacy. This new wave of backlash even prompted accusations that Rachel had sabotaged her own career by publicly undermining a story she was paid millions to bring to life. The controversy surrounding Snow White didn't end with Rachel's casting or statements. Hollywood actor Peter Dinklage openly slammed Disney for their hypocritical attempt at diversity. According to Dinklage, Disney's pride in casting a Latina actress was hollow if they continued perpetuating outdated stereotypes about dwarfs. Dinklage's fierce criticism unleashed intense online debate. Disney scrambled desperately, responding by scrapping the iconic Seven Dwarfs, replacing them instead with awkward, poorly received CGI creations. This misguided attempt at political correctness completely backfired. Fans universally mocked Disney's bizarre digital dwarfs, calling them unnatural, stiff, and downright creepy, another expensive mistake compounding Disney's mounting losses. All this swirling drama forced Disney into unprecedented damage control mode. Rather than embracing traditional lavish premieres, Disney sheepishly hid the film's release. Instead of glamorous red carpets, Disney opted for subdued daytime events, barely publicizing screenings at iconic locations like Hollywood's El Capitan Theater and even discreetly moving the European premiere to a secluded castle in northern Spain. The usually confident studio seemed to be silently acknowledging their own embarrassment, desperately hoping to minimize further controversy. Yet, despite these efforts, the film's disastrous reception couldn't be hidden. Photos of empty theater rows and deserted cinema halls dominated social media. Critics and audience members alike savaged the film, labeling it uninspired, politically preachy, and disconnected from its beloved source material. Rachel's personal controversies only amplified these criticisms, leading audiences to reject not only the movie but Rachel herself. Now, as the fallout continues, industry insiders are openly debating the lessons Disney should learn from this disastrous experience. How much responsibility lies with Rachel herself? Could Disney have better managed their stars' behavior? Or was this simply doomed from the start, a misguided attempt to modernize a timeless classic in a way that alienated the audience Disney desperately needed? For Rachel Zegler, what started as a dream quickly unraveled into a career-threatening nightmare. Once poised as Hollywood's next rising star, Rachel's reputation now hangs precariously on a series of costly miscalculations. Her own aggressive behavior, insensitive political commentary, public feuds, and controversial interviews. Her reputation, once promising, now bears scars that may take years to heal. Meanwhile, the financial and reputational damage to Disney is immense. Millions lost on marketing, security, reshoots, and CGI missteps are just the beginning. Rachel's political controversies have significantly impacted the film's international performance, alienating key global markets and inflaming tensions that a family-oriented film studio would desperately prefer to avoid. Hollywood observers wonder if Disney will reconsider their aggressive remake strategy altogether, acknowledging that beloved classics should be handled with far more sensitivity. Casting decisions, political messaging, and public image management all came under intense scrutiny due to Rachel's high-profile mistakes. Ultimately, this fiasco will serve as a powerful cautionary tale about the volatility of celebrity behavior, the importance of audience goodwill, and the immense power and risk of social media influence. Rachel Zegler's meteoric rise and catastrophic fall clearly illustrate the dangerous intersection between celebrity activism, corporate marketing, and public perception. Perhaps the most painful lesson is the simplest one: audiences still matter. Controversy may attract attention, but it doesn't guarantee success. If viewers feel disrespected or alienated, no amount of celebrity charm, expensive marketing, or flashy CGI will save a failing movie from its inevitable crash landing. As the dust finally settles, everyone involved, from Disney executives to Rachel Zegler herself, must confront a harsh reality. Sometimes the loudest voice isn't always right, and even seemingly untouchable stars can crash back down to earth. Rachel Zegler may recover, but this painful public lesson will remain etched in Hollywood history. a stark reminder of how quickly fame and fortune can collapse. Now, the question remains, who deserves most of the blame? Rachel Zegler herself, Disney's mismanagement, or both? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're eager for more Hollywood drama, make sure you catch the next video. You won't want to miss what we've got coming next.